everyone and welcome to Studio de Sol. My name is Lina and today's video is going to be another episode about polymer clay. Today's video is going to be a little bit experiment of mine. I decided to try out the decoupage technique on the polymer clay, so let's get started. If you want to support me and my channel, don't forget to hit the red button, like this video, leave a comment down below, and let's keep going. Decoupage is an art of decorating by gluing the cutouts onto the objects. You can arrange different kind of combinations of different cutouts, and also you can use different type of paints and finishes to create an interesting textures. For today's project, I decided to use the decoupage, but instead of the tissues, I'm gonna use just the regular printing paper, and I have the prints that I picked, and I hope it's not a big difference, but we will see. And here's everything I'm gonna be using for today's project. It's gonna be polymer clay in a color white and black. Also, I'll be using my new cutters. I recently received them. Did a little unpacking on my TikTok. If you're not following me on TikTok, link in the description. And this is all I'm gonna be using. Also, in the end, I'm gonna be using epoxy resin. And I'm starting by conditioning the white clay. Since I don't have a lot of images with the white background, I'm gonna be using not as much of the white as I'm gonna be using black clay, and I'm conditioning it and flatten it and just cut out the shapes that I want. Added them to the tray. And for the black color, I decided to, as usual, reuse some of the scraps that I have, and I have them the color of like darker gray purplish. I decided to add a little bit of black so I can use up my scraps and not use a lot of the new black color. Run it through the pasta machine until the colors are completely mixed, and then as usual I'm just flattening it and cutting out the shapes. Here's my baked pieces. Now I'm sanding them, because what we're gonna do next is applying the school glue with the paper, so we need everything to be already prepared, like final beads with the smooth edges. Alright, I sanded and polished the edges of my beads. Now I'm taking my beads and just applying them on a pattern to see which particular elements I want to be on an earring. Then I'm just going around with the pencil, and then I'm cutting out those shapes. And I do the same for the pictures with the black background. Okay, I cut everything out and now I'm just applying all of the paper shapes to the actual beads. And here I'm taking the brush and the school glue, applying a little bit of the school glue on a bead and attaching the paper on top and adding a little bit more of the glue. Again, spreading this really well and make sure that the paper is getting soaked with the clay. And in the same way, I covered all of the beads and then I left them over the night to dry out. If you don't have time, you can use just a blow dryer to make them dry. School glue gets dry pretty fast. Alright, this is the next day. My beads are already dry. Now I'm just cutting the axis on the sides. I decided to use the regular epoxy resin. I mixed it 1:1 mixing ratio. And just start applying on top of my beads. Then I also add a little bit of this golden foil and I'm applying the resin like in 2 steps. First, it's like a first thin layer to spread out the resin, and after that I'm adding a few more drops on top to make it a little bit more volume. And then I'm going over with the lighter to get rid of the bubbles. In the end, I got an idea. Maybe I could have skipped the step with the school glue and I don't have to do all that decoupage thing. And I just decided to apply the print on the beads directly using the epoxy resin. Same here, I applied the epoxy resin on the bead, then apply the paper, make sure it's like glued, and after that I added the top layer. And here you can see the paper is getting wet and the print kind of like dissolves, like the colors are losing the colors are losing the brightness. But we will see, maybe when the resin cures it's gonna look a little bit different. And then I leave the resin to cure for another 24 hours. And here's my final result. Let me know in the comments below if you like how they turned out. And I think my little experiment worked out. I definitely gonna play around more with that technique with the different types of the paper. Maybe I'm gonna try something with the tissue paper. Also, the idea of just applying the pattern using the epoxy resin, I think it also has the potential to create some interesting earrings. And this is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the red button, like this video. It really helps to promote my channel and my videos here on YouTube, so I really appreciate your help and support. Thank you so much for watching, and we see each other in the next video.